This is Theron Q Ramacharaka. Now, this video is about opportunity versus obstacle. I've made other videos about them. I'm just going to give you an example. And it's about idealism versus realism. Okay, first, opportunity versus obstacle. All right, so here's an example. Well, first of all, the principle of the matter is in life there are obstacles. Obstacles with respect to our goals or our objectives, all right? We have objectives. There are obstacles in the way, and then there are ways around the obstacles, ways to circumvent the obstacles. Now, what I call those ways to circumvent the obstacles, I call those opportunities, okay? Now, often, I've said, most often, or in almost every case, the obstacle is only apparent. That really is an opportunity in disguise. And we just have to look at it in a different way, look at this apparent obstacle in a different way, and what we see is the opportunity. In other words, like the opportunity is built right into the obstacle. But it's just a matter of how we look at the obstacle. It's a matter of how we look at the circumstance, whether with respect to whether it's going to be perceived as an obstacle or an opportunity. Okay, so here's an example. To make it really easy to see, here's one that makes it very simple for you to see how the opportunity is built right into the obstacle, making the obstacle only really an apparent obstacle. All right, so recently I've been doing some delivery work outside of an employment situation, but just doing some delivery work to people whom I don't know. And it's a variety of people. It's always somebody different. So I'm dealing with the public. Okay, now here I am delivering to them something that they could have driven to pick up themselves. So I'm doing a favor. And I'm running into all kinds of characters with all sorts of moods, all kinds of attitudes. Some people are very condemning of a job well done. Other people are very appreciative. So here I had been in a position in life where I was thinking, I don't have to do this anymore in life. And I still don't, but I have chosen to do it. And at certain times I'm wondering why the hell I decided to do such a thing. Because I had been very happy not being in these kinds of situations anymore, being retired. And so, here I am in this situation again, thinking every day, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. This is just bullshit. Very little thanks. And I find myself, my blood pressure increasing dealing with certain people. So this seems to be an obstacle because, hey, it's getting in the way of the other things I want to do, like make videos here and be available to people on the internet and by phone, doing what I like to do and what I do best. That is, serve as a guide or a trainer in personal evolvement. And, but here I am doing this thing here too, big obstacle. But the opportunity that's locked right into the whole obstacle is here. The obstacle seems to be dealing with people who just piss me off. The opportunity is to get better at dealing with such affairs so that they no longer piss me off. See, if I don't get pissed off, then there's no problem, right? I'm not going to change the people. There's no opportunity for that. It's not an opportunity to change the public. It's an opportunity for me to no longer get pissed off in such things. That would solve the problem, right? Also, if this thing that I'm doing is getting in the way of other things I like to do, then I need to be able to learn to manage my time better. You see? Then there won't be a problem. There's no more obstacle. The opportunities are built right in. Better time management, better emotional management. Do whatever it has to be done to accomplish those two things. Then I am a better person. This is the situation in which I can become a better person. So the obstacles are only apparent. The opportunities are staring me in the face. I just have to look at them and accept them. Okay, now over to idealism versus realism. Okay, well, you might say that what I just proposed with respect to obstacles versus opportunities is a bit idealistic. That's not very realistic. As sometimes things just aren't that easy. Sometimes it's not that easy to find an opportunity and an apparent obstacle. And expecting to actually improve in every situation in life is a bit idealistic, not very realistic. But that might be a bit short-sighted to come to that conclusion right away. But let's just generalize a bit more. Idealism versus realism. Okay, I strive for high ideals. I believe that I can improve in any situation. Sometimes I need to back off and take a break. But overall, in life, I believe that personal evolvement is possible at any point in life. There is never a point at which I now know everything about something, or at which there's nothing more for me to learn, or at which there's no more improvement that can be done. I believe that no matter how old I am, I can still do better at whatever I'm doing. Now, if my brain starts to go or my vision starts to go, let's say because of age, there are certain things that I can do to slow down that going. But if we look at it overall, I mean, given everything, considering all factors, considering all involved, there's still improvement. So let's say my eyesight is getting worse by a factor of, 50% a year or something like that. Well, maybe I will not improve my vision, but I can compensate for it and still produce a good result, which is a matter of still striving for high ideals, getting better at things, regardless of the circumstances. Even if in overall I seem to be going downhill as I get older and older, that taking the factors into account, you can still see that there is an interpretation in which improvement or betterment is involved. It just depends on how many factors you're looking at and accounting for. But now, back to a more general consideration here. Idealism. It is always good to strive for high ideals. In fact, in my intensive program for personal evolvement, one goes through a close examination of their motives right from the start of the program. And a very deep character change must take place with respect to those motives, right down at the level of the will itself. And one of the steps in this close examination and evaluation and remaking a do-over, a makeover of one's motives down at the level of character and will has to do with idealization of motives in life, an idealization of them, making them ideal. How else will personal improvement take place if we do not idealize our very reasons for getting up in the morning? Now, some will say, well, that's not realistic. And I say, yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is realistic because it works. If it were not realistic, it would not work. It does work. When we strive for high ideals, we improve in life. We do not end up having gone the other direction. Consider this as an example. Some people get sick of other people by the time they get old. They're sick of people. They hate people. They don't want to be around people. They actually hate people. Now, I don't think that they always have hated people. They probably didn't hate people as children, but they end up hating people. Now, is that having improved in life, or is that having lost? Is that having arrived at a better position through the years, or a worse one? To end up life hating people. That sounds like having lost, having moved backwards, having devolved rather than evolved. Now, if we're striving for the ideal of loving people no matter what, that's ideal, right? That's very idealistic. Idealism, not realistic, right? But no, what's unrealistic about it? It's just difficult. That's all. It's just difficult. It's not unrealistic. It is realistic, because if you want to die in a better position than you were born in, then you better be idealistic. That's real. Okay? That's part of a realistic point of view. There's nothing unrealistic about rational idealism. Nothing at all. Strive for high ideals. Know exactly what they are and reach for them every day. I'm Theron Q Ramacharaka. Be well.